Welcome to the Spiral Up podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lachelle Weemy, a peak performance coach and business strategist dedicated to helping you see what's possible within you, the blind spots that are holding you back, and the solutions to ensure success and fulfillment without the hustle. I use my secret sauce of metaphysics, brain science, and scripture to work with God to manifest your ideal life and business. If you're ready to create massive forward momentum in your business and bust through the blocks that drag you down, join me on the Spiral Up journey and create the clarity, confidence, and consistency to become the CEO that lives your life by design. It's time to create the sustainable impact, income, and time freedom you desire faster. Now is the time to spiral up. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Spiral Up podcast. I am your host, Dr. Lachelle Weemy, and I have a very special episode of the Spiral Up podcast this week. I have asked all of my amazing friends who joined me recently in Tulum, Mexico for our Becoming Experience retreat to join me for a really fun, candid, behind-the-scenes conversation about our amazing adventure. You guys, these ladies have a very, very special place in my heart. It's amazing, right, guys? Like how much we get to know each other and how we grow. And it's nothing like being vulnerable around one another to make you feel like, okay, like if I did that, now I'm safe, right? And we definitely, had some deep conversations, but we also had a little bit of fun, didn't we?
A lot of fun, a lot of deep, a lot of both.
A lot of both. There's a good balance anyway, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, like, I would love to know, for anybody who wants to share, like, why did you want to go to the Becoming Experience retreat in the first place? I'm just kind of curious about that.
Oh, well, I'll start. I wanted to become. Not that I wasn't already there, but this is my second one to go on, and I gained so much from the first one, and it was totally different from this one.
Yeah.
And I can't say enough nice things about this experience. It just made me appreciate life a lot more, appreciate the fact that I'm around a group of very strong women and friends for life. So
Yeah.
it was great.
It is amazing. Like I would say, I do have a really high return rate for people who want to keep coming back. And I, allowed God to design this curriculum, and I've really kept it relatively intact with a few tweaks here and there. In order for me personally to have a place that I can continue to grow, because every single year I level up and I have different goals and I push myself bigger. And so that's what I love, is that it allows us to continue to bring on that evolution. And it's like, I don't know about you, RG, but like my life is so different than the last time that we went on the retreat. And now I can only imagine like what's going to happen with this step. And it's so much fun. And like you said, every single group has like slightly different dynamics, a different feel. Don't you think? Even though, I mean, technically it's supposed to be about the same thing. I added some new special things this time around, but yeah.
It's always special, always. So,
how about the rest of anybody else have anything to add? Oh, there's Jan.
Hi. I love going to these. I learn something new every time, and every time I go, I'm a different person. So what I take in is always based on what I already had learned, and now I get to learn more. And I love that. I love your teaching and the insights that come from that. And I really appreciate that. And I also love our excursion we take before we all start. Yeah. It's a great way to get to know everybody, and I jumped off another platform into some water that I did not expect I was going to be doing. I was reluctant to do it, and I did it.
You had a whole cheering section of Mexican like men just cheering you on. It was amazing. Yeah.
I was very pleasantly surprised by that.
Yes.
I thought it was rather cute.
It was so fun.
And the water was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was beautiful. There's so many, I don't know, Lachelle, I don't know how to say it. I just talked to your husband today. I said, your wife knows how to put on a great retreat. And I said, and you know that, don't you? He goes, yeah, I do. I said, I wish you could be there. But no, it was, I don't know, being able to work with you and work with Kelly and with the other people there. learning experience every time. And I totally appreciate it. And especially getting to know all the people. I think that's my favorite part
Yeah.
is learning from them even. They're beautiful people and we're lucky to have them.
We are, oh my gosh. Yeah. So several of us chose to go on an excursion the day before. So I kind of open this up to people that want to extend. And we were able to go on this really great tour that was put on by this really wonderful man, Alejandro. Do you guys remember how great he was? And he took us, they picked us up at the villa. They took us to the Mayan ruins and he gave us this really great tour. And it was really cool, wasn't it? How he incorporated, without even knowing us, like he incorporated the different energetics that have to do with our birth date and our time of birth and how that, worked into the Mayan culture. And it was like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool. And he started talking about it and he's like, oh, I'm probably boring you. And we are all like, no, this is our jam right here, like bring it on, all of the cool mindset and energetics and everything. Like how cool is it that he, of all the people, was our tour guide. And then he took us to the second largest reef in the world to do some snorkeling, and they let us snorkel there a little bit, but then he took us off on the boat to a little more private area, which was amazing, wasn't it? And then we went to cenote and, jumped in the water again. And man, that was so much fun and beautiful, beautiful, like blue water and weather and all the things, like surprising how just beautiful that was. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'll jump in. So, Michelle, I've known you for quite a number of years, and I jumped at the chance to participate in your retreat this year because the chance to work with you, I've been watching you for a while, and I've seen how you've grown and your whole spiral up has developed over the years. So I was really thrilled to participate this year. And, I always love the chance to work with other women because it's always nice to get other people's perspective. As a solopreneur, it's great to, you always want to get other people's ideas and work with other women because it only makes your business stronger and it only makes you stronger and more well-rounded to get other people's ideas and to get other people's perspectives when it pertains to your own business. And then, I wanted to go to Tulum because I thought, oh, what a great vacation that'll be on top of everything. What a bonus. And our excursion was just what a great little, I don't know, not snapshot isn't the right word, but just a few hours. It seemed like we were there for more than a few hours that our excursion, but they really just packed so much into that few hours that we did all of that, the snorkeling and the ruins that we saw. It was just such a great well-planned day that we had. It was really fun. It was really great. I really enjoyed it.
And one of my favorite things was watching you and Jamie actually go out and snorkel off of the beach of our villa.
Oh,
I mean, you guys were seeing just beautiful reefs and, fish and all the things just like literally, just a few, 100 feet from our house.
not even. It was tens of feet right from the beach, and I was really surprised that it was that close. And I could have done that. I could have done that every day. Every single day. And I hadn't snorkeled in years and years. And it was, I'm really glad that I got the chance to do that with Jamie. That was one of the highlights of the whole trip, doing that.
And the weather was amazing, but the first night when we decided to walk 2 doors down from the villa was a really cute little beachfront restaurant, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it just started pouring, and so everybody in the entire restaurant was huddled underneath the bar. We were all soaking wet. Like I got a great picture of that. Like what a fun memory of us getting to know people from all over, and you actually ran into some people from Massachusetts, not too far from you. Like
literally, they're like 30 miles from where I lived.
It was so fun. And, like in addition to, having fun, because clearly, fun is important to me. You have to have a balance in this, but we also got to work, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what's the biggest kind of breakthrough that you guys experienced while you were down here? Down here. I wish I was still there. Kaylee's still there. I wish that we were still there. Yeah, what was some of the biggest breakthroughs that you had?
I can go on this. I guess my biggest breakthroughs were with you on just that self-doubt and stuff I've had since a kid. And then getting to work with Kelly on that energy balance. Like, I can't even explain that experience with Kelly. Like, I was telling her the other day, like, I don't recall ever having dreams, and now I'm having very visual dreams, which have never been a thing since I can remember. So it was just amazing getting through so many blocks that have stopped my potential in many ways, personally and professionally, between working with you and Kelly. And I can't even explain how much relief is off my shoulders and how much more freeing I feel. On top
Oh,
of all these deep relationships with women who want to lift each other up, you don't always find communities like that. So, like, that's one thing about your retreats. You find positive women who want to build each other up.
mhm. Yes. Oh my gosh, you hit the nail on the head. I love that. Anybody else have anything to share about that? I'd love to know.
Yes, I want to piggyback off of that because today I was doing a course and it was like rate these different things, and I was rating them all and I'm like, I'm doing great. My life is great. I'm living my dream life. And I was like, oh, that's funny. A couple of weeks ago, I would have been like, oh, there's a lot of room for improvement. And so I was just evaluating that, going, that's a really different response. And what I kind of landed on was just that thought of, I've been around really high vibrating women. I've had really good conversations. I've been able to deep dive. I've been able to not only connect to myself, but connect to people that have similar goals as me. Even though like all of our goals are different, just that growth and development is similar. Sorry for the crying kid in the background.
No, we love it. This is life. This is perfect.
Yeah. And so just like, and you know, one of my biggest intention in being there was really working through layers of self-doubt and owning that self-worth. And in one of the activities that we did was I was listening to feedback about self-doubt. The thought that came into my mind is that self-doubt is just another emotion that we all are going to have. And it's not something I have to eradicate. It's something that I get to use as a signal, just like I do with anger or depression or frustration or any of those other like negative emotions. And where I already think that way, like being able to put self-doubt as a piece of the puzzle in there, I was like, oh, I'm fine. It's fine if self-doubt comes up because it doesn't mean it has to stay. Like it just clicked. And I was like, oh, that took a long time to
Oh my
figure
gosh,
out.
that's right. Like everything doesn't have to be so heavy, does it?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I got is that it's just lighter now. Like I just feel like we talked a lot about resistance and flow, and it's like I just feel lighter. Alana, you are shaking your head. Like I'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
Yeah, the resistance piece. I have thought of that word so many times in the paying attention to that, where your mind goes, the energy flows, and noticing where that resistance is and letting that be a cue of like, ooh, something's out of alignment here. And I was trying to think of an analogy to describe how I feel. And it is so much lighter. That's accurate. But it's almost like I've been like pushing this boulder up a hill all by myself. And it was heavy and I was tired and I didn't know where the top of the hill was. And then all of a sudden, all of these women came around me and they just gave it this gentle push. And since I've come home, like my brain is on fire. Like the amount of stuff that I've done and action that I've taken in so many different areas has been invigorating. And I'm coming home, and as I'm reintegrating back into life, it's like, okay, how do I protect this energy? Because what it feels like is so unique and special th- that like I can't go back to Alana 2 weeks ago and probably explain to her like what she's about to experience and why it's so great. Other than I wish I could go back to me 2 weeks ago and just be like, you're on the right track, keep doing it,
Mhm.
which I did, right?
Yeah.
I almost talked to myself out of not going to the retreat. Like days before, I was like, I'm just going to forfeit the money. I'm not going to go. What am I doing? And realized that that was just that fear creeping up. Before I do something big, there's
Mhm.
always that resistance.
Yes.
And I tuned in to that like deeper knowing, my intuition. I knew I needed to be there. And it is just amazing how on fire my brain feels.
I love that. And we don't know each other all that well. Like we just met for the first time at the retreat. And man, like you are somebody that I get to spend the rest of my life with. And I'm so unbelievably fortunate that I've gotten to know you guys and how easily we click. We kind of bonded over the, self-proclaimed introvert who needs to protect our energy, but we both find ourselves like just not wanting to miss out and to
Yeah.
finding ourselves being filled with the energy of the people around us, that it's something special, isn't it? Oh my gosh, I love that. What else? Anybody else have anything to say? Because this is so great. Like I just love hearing your candid words.
Yeah, I have something to add. So, and it's a little bit of different, angle because
Yeah.
I come from the world of, numbers and
Yes.
taxes and,
Yes.
business systems. And it's so, you know, it's it's kind of that balance. You can't be good in your business and doing all of the things in your business if you don't have, like you were saying, that high vibration and that attitude. And you have to have all that the manifest all the good things and
Yeah.
be have the right attitude in order for your business to be. Sorry, the dog wants to go out. You have to have all of the things all in alignment in order to be running your business at a good pace. And
Mhm.
it all has to be working together. And you all have to have it all the wheels going at the same rate. So going on the retreat, that all kind of clicked for me, like, oh yeah, you have to have the right frame of mind. And you can't, that always doesn't, it's not always going to jive all the time.
Yeah.
And you have to be with the right people to kind of sometimes
Mhm.
reset all of that, and to
Yeah.
come back and be like, okay, what do I need to do to reset myself,
Yeah.
and
Right.
to step back and be like, okay, what do I need to do
Yeah. And it was
to
always
come back?
interesting because I feel like that was, the first question I asked you guys is like, why did you want to go in the first place? And what I hear a lot is that this is more than I expected. And in not just like the delivery of things, but really just like you got something out of it that you didn't expect. And I think that, you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's like you go in, Pamela, as, this really amazing fractional CFO and accountant with a very, objective, logical mind, and I, bring you into my sciencey woo woo, right? But we had breakthroughs with, health. We had breakthroughs with the relationships with some people. We had breakthroughs in, generational blocks that we went back to great grandparents. And it was just like I've had people, past retreat people, shout out to, my friend Camille, that, you know, now she's engaged. Like this stuff is amazing because your consciousness knows what you need even before you consciously do. Like your subconscious knows what you need, and it's just guides you, and I just get to be along for the ride. Like I just get a front row seat to it. It's so unbelievable, right? Like what are some of the things that were surprising to you guys that you didn't expect?
I didn't expect to feel, and I think Alana, you kind of said this. You didn't expect to feel so much. I felt physically lighter,
Yeah.
like you were saying, Alana. Like you felt lighter
Mhm.
when I got home. I did. I felt that almost that same feeling, like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh.
And now you guys understand, right? Like why I give you the tools to use when you get home that can keep us in that alignment, because it's unbelievable. Like the feeling that we feel when we get home. What else? What else was surprising to you guys?
Can I just piggyback back on that comment too?
Yeah.
Um, it was really interesting because I was a little nervous for what I would experience when I came home, because
Ah,
when I went on the Costa Rica retreat, like things that you and I talked about took me up to this level of living that I know I want, and I'm working to get there.
Yeah.
And then I came home and I crashed hard and I spiraled down hard and went into like depression, frustration, and just immobile. And so I was like, oh, it's going to be interesting to see what happens after this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this time I'm like, I just feel happy and giddy and really tired for other reasons too. But like, whoa, I need to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, there's just this, like in my stomach, solar plexus area, and in my heart, I just feel happy.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
really good.
Like it doesn't have to be hard, does it? It can just be easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
That's
think
nice.
that it's interesting because like I feel like the way that we all are feeling that's very consistent is a reflection of my own evolution, of my own like preoccupation with flow and ease and joy in this last 12 months or the last 6 months. And it's so interesting that like my energy and my focus on this has been able to be reflected in all of you guys. Like it's just so cool. So thank you for sharing that, Kelly. I'm really glad that you have been able to stay light and high vibes since getting
Me
home, because it's
too.
hard sometimes, isn't it? What
Yeah.
else was surprising to you guys?
I have to agree too. I am feeling way lighter, and I was able to let go of some really, really heavy stuff that I thought I was doing pretty well with, but Kelly really helped me with that. And,
Yeah.
you know, these knots that I always had in my shoulders, holy smokes, they're gone. And I feel it's just a joyful feeling. And I appreciate that. And I also love the clarity that I was able to gain when I met with you. You know, that was a hard road to travel too, but it got me to a place where I really learned what my next step is, you know, my purpose. And I thank you for that. I love watching you as you go through this journey, and I'm grateful that I get to be part of that. So thank you. It's just, yeah, we don't have to live a hard life. We can make it easy. And I appreciate you emphasizing that and letting us know that when we're in high vibes, it is easy. And I love these women. I'm just going to say it. It was so fun to get to know everybody.
I know.
Okay,
Totally
so I have to piggyback too. When I came home from the first retreat, and I told you ladies this, that I was a completely different person, and I stayed in high vibes up until this retreat. I came with high vibes, and when I left, they were even higher. And I don't intend to let those things go. You know, I'm like, I'm just, my brain is just, and I just, you know, okay, this needs to happen today. And, you know, it's just, I've always kind of been that way, but depression kind of took that away from me for a little while. But meeting all of you ladies, once again, you've changed my life for the better. So I appreciate all of you. And Lachelle, your mind just amazes me. I've seen and been around a lot of smart women and or people in general, but girl, you're on fire.
Oh, you guys are making my heart so full. Like I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much for that. Oh my gosh, now I'm all distracted. Like now what do I say? And a couple of you guys have acknowledged Kelly. And so I'm just gonna like take this moment to like just love on some of the people that helped me to make this amazing. So Kelly is this unbelievably talented, intuitive energy worker. And I don't even know how else to describe you, Kelly, because it's like, it's not massage, it's not Reiki, it's emotion code, body code, yes, but there's like this secret sauce with you. And you can pick up on things consciously and subconsciously and just release. And I'm just in awe of you. Jan, you have a life of experience and all of these amazing certifications and coaching as well. So my clients get a chance to meet with Jan as well. And then everybody had this amazing photo shoot with Kaylee. So Kaylee, if you're listening to the replay of this podcast, we're just going to say that you're still in Mexico and we think you suck, but we love you anyway. And we tease each other a little bit, which is fun. Like we have to have fun, right? Like there's serious and then there's like, oh my gosh, like let's not take life so seriously. But you guys, Kaylee is like unbelievable. We were just talking about this. It's like we've all, had several of us have had many photo shoots, especially professionally over the last several years. And this is like a totally different level, isn't it, you guys? Like
Absolutely.
unbelievable. So you guys are going to have to check out the reels and the photos and stuff that we're all, putting out there just to give props to Kaylee Lemoyne and her amazing talent, both in video and photo as well. And of course, Jamie, we have to thank Jamie for keeping the wheels on the bus. So she's my amazing right-hand woman who's the detail-oriented mom of the group that makes sure that everything's in place. And I'm so grateful for all of the things. And I think that sometimes people come to me and they're like, what was the most surprising is the relationships that I formed because I didn't expect it to be so deep. And I've heard that from several of you guys, like lifelong relationships.
Yep.
Yeah, and if I can just add to that, I think, Lachelle, to add to what RJ was saying, you attract just the most amazing women. And that's why the relationships of everybody that came on the retreat are so deep. It's because of the people that you attract. And that's why the bonds are so immediate and will be lifelong, because that's the type of people who you attract.
You guys
in your tribe.
Too kind. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love you so much. Okay. Well, we can talk about this all night long, but what I also want to ask you guys before we kind of wrap up is if you were to consider coming on another one, why would you do it? Like, why would somebody want to go on one of these, or why would you want to come again?
I don't want to miss a thing. I mean, come on.
Seriously.
I'm like, where are we going next? Oh, wait, it's Greece. I'm already on the list. So, yeah, it's just every time we're around you, Lachelle, we just get so pumped up and we learn so much. And not just from you, but from the whole group. So, who could afford to miss something like that? I mean, it's life-changing. I'm proof of that.
No,
Yeah,
thanks.
well said. Well said.
Yeah. What would you guys say to somebody who's been thinking about this? They've been watching my reels for a couple of years and like Pamela, you're like, oh my gosh, I've been watching you. All right. Like, where do I sign up? And I'm just going to say this out there that these are very intimate. We only allow a few people. And so if this is something that you're interested in, you need to get on my list to apply so that I can meet you and make sure that you're a good fit. But Pamela, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, if you've been listening to Lachelle and you've been kind of sitting on the sidelines, wondering and waiting, I mean, it's an investment in yourself. If you're a business owner and you're trying to level up, this is an investment in yourself. It's an investment in your business. And if you're here, you're never going to make it to here. If you're not investing in yourself and if you're not investing in your business, and it's a write-off.
And thanks, accountant. We appreciate that.
Yeah. You have to put money into it in order to level up. That's really the bottom line.
Alana, you didn't know what you were getting into.
I didn't. So I'm probably a really unique one because I had never listened to Lachelle. I had never heard the podcast. I knew nothing other than I work with Kelly, and Kelly had mentioned this retreat, and there was some kind of inner just, I don't know, draw that pulled me. And so, Lachelle, you and I had that meeting, and I could feel your energy so quickly of, okay, there is substance here. But I will also say that I tend to be like a natural skeptic. I tend to be where I spend my money, I want value. And so I will just say to all of you who are like on the fence of, does this hold value? Does it not? It absolutely holds value. And yeah, Pam, just what you were saying, that it is an investment in yourself, and what you put into yourself, you will get tenfold back when you are surrounded by these type of people who are all headed in that same direction. And so it's so worth it, but I had to get a little bit out of my like overthinking logical brain and tap more into that deeper knowing and really believing I was worth it. I was worth spending that money on, and it was a leap of faith, and it so paid off.
And it was so fun. Like, I remember, I can't remember the details, but I remember you saying like, oh my gosh, like this is something I've been wanting. It was something financial with the business, if I recall. And you're like, this is something I've been thinking about wanting for a long time. And it like literally like happened within what, an hour? Like,
Yeah. And I had the same thing happen. Like I made a comment about finally being ready to ask a question in my personal life I was scared to. And within an hour, I got a text that like drew a line in the sand and went, okay, I know my next move. Like I've had that happen since then a few times. I took that step and then the next thing started moving, but I had to take that first step. And I think that first step was showing up.
That whole breadcrumb situation and we talked about the 4 steps of manifesting, and it was really fun to watch that like unfold before our eyes. Anybody else have any last comments before we get you all back to your families and wrap up this show?
I will just say, I also love that you have these at the beach. Because just like how healing the ocean is, and I was seashell obsessed this time, and I still kind of am. But I think like just what being around the high vibe women does, what being around the ocean does, how it can help you regulate your nervous system, how it can help you up level that subconscious energetic part of your body. Especially when, you know, you're living in cold climates and you're stuck in your daily routine and those stressors are there. Taking a break from that and being able to really focus on yourself and focus on your dreams and your desires and those things that your heart is always trying to tell you, whether you're listening or not. But when you take that pause to listen and reflect and rejuvenate yourself, especially around people who are just loving on you hard and cheering you on, like it's very life-changing, and I love it.
I'm so grateful for all of you guys and for trusting me. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on future, trips for sure. And for those of you guys who are listening, if you have questions, please reach out. I would be happy to answer, questions for you. And I'm sure that many of the gals that are here would be more than happy to answer some questions too that are unbiased so that you can get the real lowdown. But as Pamela mentioned, this is such a great investment, not only, to be able to write it off for your business, but to be able to use it to catapult yourself to this next level. Like, I don't even know how to describe myself from before the retreat. And I've been on these twice a year for the last several years. There's just something that happens. And Alana has this beautiful tattoo of a bow and arrow. And I keep thinking about it, like the tension and then this beautiful release, because I've actually had some things happen to me this week, you guys. I haven't shared with any of you, but really big tests from the universe, like, all right, sister, you say you're going to elevate, because this is, the vision that Kelly helped me get when we were working together. And it's like, all right, prove it. Like, I had to face some really hard conversations, things that make me uncomfortable, but it's like, okay, it's like I had to prove to myself that I was ready. And it's like, let's do it, man. Let's do it. I can't wait to see what happens next. And I'm so grateful that you guys are part of this journey. So go ahead and click on the link in the show notes, you guys, if you want to apply to be on our next event, which is going to be held in Greece in the fall of 2025. So it'll be the first full week in October. And I'm just really excited to see the changes that are going to happen on that event and to watch all of you beautiful women continue to shine and thrive and up level because of all of the beautiful things that you accomplished while we were together. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. And thanks for listening, everyone. So much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Each honest review helps me spiral up so that I can serve you even better. Whether you're feeling a lack of impact, income, or time freedom, or perhaps you're just ready for massive momentum in your business, let's chat. Apply for a breakthrough call so that you can gain clarity, identify what's holding you back, and make a plan to spiral up. head on over to iam-lifebydesign.com/breakthrough or access the link in the show notes. For immediate support, plug into our community, the Better Club. We focus on inspiration, tactical guidance, and support. This is a community that wants to be better, do better, and have better in life and in business, and we're going to help you do the same. Let's spiral up, friends.